Alright folks, welcome back to the video. Welcome back to the channel. I'm just going to log right into my M1 Finance account. There's not much going on in there, but I figured I'd just walk you guys through it, give you guys a little brief rundown of when I last really did an update. And I think that was probably in September timeframe when I had first started initiating positions within the portfolio. And so what I wanted to really do was give you an update since then, because the portfolio has changed a little bit, and also I've done some auto investing as well, and so I kind of want to cover that. So started the portfolio with about $5,500 back in September timeframe, investing specifically into 3M and Johnson & Johnson. And since then, you can see they've recovered pretty nicely. The reason why I invest in both of those is because they've taken quite a bit of a dip, but then I've also added about $250 for 2 months now, once in the beginning of October, once in the beginning of November, and that specifically is going towards Visa. So you can see that that is remaining just under break even at this point, but I'm not too upset about it because it's a phenomenal growth company with a phenomenal compounding dividend that continues to grow at double-digit growth per year, and that's more what I'm in the long term for, is the low payout ratio compared to the free cash flow that Visa has, and eventually going to see how much they eventually give out to shareholders. If you were to look at earnings per share, they have way less than, I think, a 30% payout ratio. Free cash flow coming from Visa is absolutely insane. Operating margins are in the 60%. So in that respect, can't complain. So what I ended up doing was going from about a 50-50 position in 3M and Johnson & Johnson down to a third, basically, with the remaining 1% going to Visa at 34% rather than specifically being 33, 34, 33. And you can see that it's starting to grow pretty nicely. If I continue to do the $250 a month, specifically going into Visa, it'll continue to catch up. I hope, and with that being said, that Visa continues to either stay where it is or go down in value, so I can attain slightly more shares with time. So at the moment, I'm able to attain just over like 1.2 or 1.5 shares every single time I'm able to buy. And so if I'm able to maintain that, it'll be beneficial for me, because every time I'm able to buy, I get around $1 or so in dividends for every share. So you get about $1.50 or maybe slightly more every time I invest the $250 into the account. So you can see, initially funded back in July, August timeframe. I actually started trading though back in September, and since then I've been depositing the $250 in the beginning of the month, so that way I can get my Visa in there. But really not too much to share in this, other than if you're interested, I'll share my pie description and link in the description below if you're interested in following it. I don't really plan on expanding this too much. I really like 3M, Johnson & Johnson, and Visa, but I think the only company I truly am going to use to purchase shares with in my M1 account is Visa. I used to own Visa back in the $70 range, but that's a long story. I had to switch out of a Roth IRA for income reasons, and so I had to sell it prematurely. And by the time I actually was able to move those funds back into an account where I could trade it, it was already up about $20 a share. So it skyrocketed relatively quickly. I think it was like from $75, $78 or so, and jumped all the way up to about 92 or 95 or something like that. So it jumped relatively quickly in a couple month time period. So I wasn't actually able to get in at a good price. And so I've been waiting since then. I think it was like 2015, 2016 timeframe to be able to purchase back into Visa, but of course it's been on a tear because it is a high growth company. So I think that's relatively it. Just wanted to share that with you guys because I think a lot of you guys are really interested in M1. But like I said, I'm not really going to utilize M1 for anything other than continuing to purchase Visa and try to get this to a pretty sizable portfolio balance in terms of what Visa is worth, a couple $1,000s, maybe up to $5,000-6,000 hopefully, which would take a couple months or so, already up to around $500. So think about that. It'll probably be within a year or so, hopefully up to about a $6,000 position. I'm sorry, that's a lie. Up to about a $3,000 position in a year. If I were to go 2 years, it'd probably be about a $6,000 position, or at least that's how much I would have capital I would have attributed to Visa at that point. So hopefully it would be much more than that, but I'm really in it for the dividends. Have Johnson & Johnson and 3M in other portfolios in my individual brokerage account specifically, so not necessarily trying to concentrate too much on that. If I think of a good opportunity, maybe what I would do is actually keep these positions, but maybe go to a quarter position and try to add one more company, whether that's like another higher growth stock or what have you, but also pays dividends. I'd have to think about that one. But overall, we're doing pretty well. Just within a couple months, already up 5-6%. But like I said, I'm not really in it for the gains. I'm in it for the dividends, and so far I haven't had any dividends come into the portfolio yet, probably because by September timeframe, the ex-dividend date for Johnson & Johnson and 3M had already passed by. So I assume within the next couple months, by 1Q, I assume we'll start seeing some dividends coming through the portfolio, and I'll be sure to update you guys on that as well. But other than that, I'm looking forward to JMac and the passive income investor, my buddy Kyle, doing the live stream tonight, so I'll see you guys on there. I'm an hour ahead because in Trinidad we don't observe daylight savings time, so I will see you guys in about half an hour after I'm done editing this video and uploading. So if I don't talk to you guys then, I'll see you on another video. Have a great night.